Hey guys, what's up? This is X, and as you can see, it's not going to be ESO today. It's actually going to be another Elden Ring video, and this will be the last one that I'm doing. What inspired me to actually do it this time was the fact that it was just like I've been playing quite a bit lately, and I'm sure some of you are probably thinking, "Hey, wait a minute, hasn't he beat this game by now?" And I'm just like, "You shut your pile." I get distracted very easily, so yeah, it's taken me a bit longer than I intended, but you know, I'm still exploring and doing all that stuff. But anyway, what I wanted to, the reason I wanted to do this video is that I had some questions recently about some certain game mechanics that I wasn't for sure about, and given that, I was thinking, well, you know, maybe, you know, because there's a lot of people that haven't played Souls style games, and they might be a little bit confused as to what to do, what some of the game mechanics are, because it does explain some things, but there's some things that in large part that they don't. So I'm going to try to go through some of those, you know, give you some basic tips. That way you won't be totally lost. But once you leave this building after doing the tutorial, you're going to see a guy up here. For me, he's gone. He went to a different space, but it's like right where this area is at right here. But of course, you'll also want to rest at the side of grace before you do anything. You might be tempted to fight him, but don't. I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of players make, is they just start attacking everything. And the thing is, yeah, there's a lot of things that will attack you, but unless they're coming at you and charging you, don't bother with it. And you can technically attack that guy that's over here, but he will put a hurting on you if you do. So it's best to avoid him. To avoid doing that. You can talk to him. He gives what might appear to be an insult, but you kind of figure out what he's talking about later on in the game. Now, between this space and that church that's way over in the background, there'll be a heavily armored mounted knight. You want to avoid that at all costs as well until you're prepared. That means you getting armor, and I find it easier to get a mount to fight him with. And if you're thinking that you're going to come in this game thinking you're going to be able to, from the get-go, kill this, you know, a major boss in like less than a minute, you're just fooling yourself, because it's going to take a while, and it is a bit tedious. But you can do it if you watch what you're doing and being careful about it. So for now, I would just kind of, you know, sneak around, you know, use the bushes for cover if you have to, because he won't see you there, and just kind of sneak around him until you're ready to face him when you're ready. Next thing I want to talk about is runes. As many of you are coming to find out, that's the main currency in Elden Ring. You can get it by selling stuff you don't need, defeating certain enemies, and so on. But there are these things called golden runes that you can get, that they vary in, you know, how much how much runes they can give you. And sometimes you can pick them off of dead bodies and enemies and so on. But there's another way that you can get them too, and that's if you come across skulls like this that are glowing. The way I usually prefer to do it, I mean, you can swipe at them, but sometimes it's a pain in the butt, because if you don't swipe at it the right way, it just kind of goes, you just kind of wind up bagging it, and it goes rolling off the hill or mountain, you know, like some kind of ball. But I find the easiest way to do it is just run over it with your mount, and then you just simply pick it up. It will be in your inventory, and the cool part about golden runes is that unless you activate them, you can't really lose them. But to give you an example of how to activate it, as you can see, I have different types of golden runes that, you know, give you a different amount. But these right here are your basic types, so I'm just going to use basically one. And as you can see on the bottom, you know, I actually get runes to spend. I wouldn't actually unlock them until, you know, you're ready to use them, because if something happens, then you might lose, you know, your ruins permanently, because when you get killed, um, it'll show you the spot where your ruins dropped, and you have a chance to pick them up again. However, if you get killed again before you reach them, you lose them all. So that's just something to consider. That's the reason why I never really, you know, activate them until, I get a pretty decent amount, and I want, some more runes, to maybe buy equipment or what have you. Uh, but as I said, the whole area is covered in skulls. You just gotta look out for the ones with the glowy eyes, and you're good to go. And the last thing I want, piece of advice I can give you, is that mounts rock. Um, they're so much easier to use in combat. I'm at their, of course, the downside is, you can get knocked off the mount, if if certain attributes aren't high enough. Uh, And I think on mine I can get hit a few times before I get knocked off, but no, once you get knocked off, it's a struggle to get back up, and that's just perfect opportunity for monsters just to, just pounce on you and basically kill you before you have a chance to do anything. But these are good for boss fights if, a particular boss will allow you to use a mount. But there is a strategy, as you recall, like at the very beginning of the video, where you fight the mounted knight. This is the easiest way to do it. What I use is what I call the circle method, and that requires just basically going in a circle to kind of lure your enemy. So let me see if I can get this guy focused. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make a turn, and since since I don't see him now, I know he's directly behind me. So I'm just going to kind of lengthen the circle and then make the turn again. And if he's like right in my path, you just take a swipe. Of course, I missed him right there. But you just keep doing that, especially on the bigger, mounted bosses. Because the thing is, yeah, it takes, a while to do it. But if you consistently, able to watch what you're doing, and just get like one or two hits on him, probably most likely one. It's going to take a while, but you will eventually take him down. This is a perfect strategy when you're running into the mounted bosses that you see at night, and if you can lure them out where you have like a large area to where you can do pretty much a big circle, you'll be able to do it. But like I said, once you make the turn, if he's coming straight down, then you can swat him once, maybe twice if you're lucky. And if you don't see him, he's right on your butt, so you may want to continue forward until you get to the end of your circle and then wrap back around again. But that's all I wanted to tell you guys for today. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you have any questions about Elden Ring, just feel free to put them in the comment section below. It's not a guarantee that I'm going to know the answer right off the bat, because I'm still learning things as I go myself. But I can try to answer your questions the best as I can. But I hope to talk to you guys real soon. Take care.